protein and are virtually fat and cholesterol free, but separating the egg yolks from the white is a real pain. Until now, introducing Easy Yolk, the world's easiest egg yolk separator. Easy Yolk separates the yolk in seconds, even directly from the frying pan, without leaving behind a big mess. We all know egg whites are healthier, but are they worth the hassle? With Easy Yolk, it's easy to eat healthy. Pancakes and waffles, almost in souffles, French toast and homemade muffins. Even breakfast burritos can all be made with egg whites. And if you like to bake, then you'll love Easy Yolk. It's easy to master meringues or heavenly angel food cakes.
Oh, I had the most wonderful evening with you, my dear. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, especially because due to money, we don't get to go out very often anymore. So I was so happy when you decided to treat me tonight. And boy, did you treat me. Going out to that restaurant that served multi-course meals, and you let me order everything I wanted. Usually you're a little stingy, again, because of money, but I guess you got some extra cash somewhere, so I'm definitely not going to complain. I'm just really thankful, because I'll be honest, I was getting kind of tired of eating whatever's in the house. That was getting a bit dull. I don't mind cooking, of course not, and I like to think I'm a pretty good cook. But it's hard work cooking enough food for my little satisfaction. Because you know, when I cook more than one meal at once. Which some people might think is strange, and a couple of our friends were like, why do you do that? I'm like, oh, so we have meals for later in the week. It's called meal prep. And they're like, oh, because yeah, there's a meal prep fad with the whole fitness crew types. But in all actuality, it's just my dinner for that night, and maybe, just maybe, if I get full, a little bit of lunch for the next day. But as you know, I rarely ever get that full. It's pretty hard to fully satiate me. But of course, you already know that, which is part of why you married me. You told me on our first date you love a lady with a healthy, hearty appetite, and someone who isn't afraid to eat in front of others, and eat as, merrily as they can. Show no shame. I can't believe how much weight I've put on since getting with you. Just when we were dating, I didn't gain a whole lot. I gained about 30, 40 pounds. Because we were just going on casual dates and coffee shops and small restaurants. They tend to not, serve enough to really make me grow. But then once we got married and I had access to, both our incomes, I could go grocery shopping for a lot more groceries than when I was alone. Plus, our occasional going out to really good restaurants that serve a lot of food. I think I probably put on at least another 150 pounds, if not more. So I think in total I probably put on 200 pounds since being with you. And we've only been together what, 2.5 years now? I know we got married kind of early, but true love is true love, isn't it, my dear? Oh yeah, I did weigh myself this morning. I'm probably about 350 pounds. I don't quite look it because of how I carry my weight. Most of it's in my lower body, my hips and my thighs, and a little bit around the tummy, and of course a huge amount of it went to my boobs. But still, I am, a bit on the heavy side now. And I have absolutely no shame in that. I actually quite like my body now because it has all those lovely extra curves. And the curves are just pretty much in the right places, with some extra squish for good measure. Because you enjoy the softness of my body, don't you, my darling? Yes, I love it when you would rub my tummy or rest your head on it when we get cuddly on the couch or get cuddly in bed. Or when you just, like to play with my thighs and just, even when you just like jokingly jiggle me out of nowhere. I don't mind it. I actually find it pretty endearing. I genuinely enjoy how much you love my body. I know it kind of started as a bit of a kink thing for you, because after all, we did meet on that BBW specialty dating site, which is probably code for people with a BBW kink. But I like to think our relationship is, a bit more than just having met on some kink site. Plus, the merits of that means that the people on there would appreciate a bigger lady. I know I wasn't super big when I was on there, but because I'm so short, I carry my weight differently. So even though I was, not quite even 200 pounds yet, I sure looked like I was over 200 pounds. Just because I was, I'm less than 5 feet tall. And all that weight just, was all around my tummy, my hips, my thighs. I looked pretty big. I think that's something people don't take into consideration when it comes to weight and whatnot. Because your height also affects how you carry it. Shorter girls, when, they consume a lot, tend to look heavier in general, even if they don't weigh as much as someone who is taller, who is, on the heavy side. So yeah, I'm pretty round, as they'd say, considering I'm so small. But you really, really like that. I remember you told me when we were initially chatting, you have a thing for short girls, and you have a thing for girls with lots and lots of fluff, with a sweet personality. And you found me sweet pretty right away. Just as I found you rather charming. But I'm going on a tangent. You really, really spoiled me tonight, which I'm grateful for considering we hadn't done anything like that in a few weeks. And the fact that, you said money was no object. I could order whatever I want. So I did, and wow, is that food delicious. Started with the bread, and you were nice enough to let me eat all the bread, so thank you. And then the 3 appetizers I ordered. Of course, I had to get the calamari, and I had to get the chicken wings. And then just for, something different, I got the big order of chips and queso. I shared with you a little bit. I'm not totally greedy. And then for the main courses, you let me order more than one. So I had that amazing filet mignon steak with the side of veggies, with the asparagus and the green beans and whatnot, and the nice helping of cheesy mashed potatoes. That was really delicious. And then, that roast duck dish with the candied carrots and the sweet potato mash. Oh, that was really something special. And then, of course, you let me order as many desserts as I liked. So, of course, I got the peach cobbler and the chocolate cake and the cheesecake and the lemon meringue tart and even a scoop of the ice cream they offered. I know people were looking at us kind of weird, but I'm a girl who just really, really enjoys food and really, really enjoys eating. And I love that you love that much about me. That you love me just for me. Because I know money gets a bit tight for you, so you don't often get to indulge me. Usually you save it for a special occasion. So I kind of want to wonder, what was so special about tonight? What, really? Why did you tell me this over dinner? You got a promotion? Oh, congratulations, honey. Does it involve a raise and all that? Really? You went that far up? And how much is your raise? Does this mean you're gonna treat me and spoil me more often? Yeah? Well, of course, I really appreciate that. As it is, with your tight budget, from before, I'm ever so grateful that you took me out and indulged me. It's admittedly been a while since I've eaten that much, especially being limited to house food and the local, fast food places that deliver here. Because I don't like going into fast food places in person. People always, stare at me, and especially when they see how big my order is. Because, of course, I have to order, multiple cheeseburgers and multiple things of chicken nuggets and a ton of fries and a milkshake and a soda and their specialty ice cream dessert. I have to get all that. But then the people, when I'm there, see me walk out with all that, they kind of scoff at me. And that just, makes me feel like a bit ashamed of myself. And I don't like feeling ashamed of myself because I love myself. I love my body. I love my appetite. I love just everything about me. So now I'm stuck to ordering that stuff. And it just doesn't quite fill me as much as going out to a real restaurant. And as I mentioned earlier, I can't nearly cook as much as what satisfies me. Or else I'd be in the kitchen, literally all day. And that would cut into my part-time job, even though I work from home. And that would cut into other things too, chores. Cleaning for you and everything else. So alas, when I have to cook, it keeps the hunger at bay. But it doesn't make me feel really, really full. And you know how much I like to feel just extra stuffed after I eat. Because I don't mind that, food baby bloat that happens after a big meal. Because it makes me look even bigger. Yeah. So tell me, do you, truly, love me for me? Not just my body. Because I already know you're really into that, just going by your bedroom activities alone. But do you appreciate me for, my mind, my personality, and everything? Because we never really had this talk before. And whenever I've, tried to bring it up, you're either too busy or you just kind of blow me off. Because I'm hoping this marriage isn't just based on sex appeal. That you actually, really want to be with me for me.
He sees exactly where he has to go, and he can pick his favorite color.
Really? So you really do love me for me. You find me, like, witty and funny? No one's ever told me that before. Well, usually the humor that came from me had me being at the butt of someone's joke. It sounds like our bedroom TV's on the fritz. Because I just turned it on and nothing's coming on, it's just making weird noises. I was hoping we could cuddle in front of TV for a bit and get all squishy together. And then maybe move on to something even more intimate. But alas, it looks like we may have to budget for a new television. I know, I love watching TV. Especially with you. Because you know how much I just love, when I'm not busy with chores, just vegging out in front of my programs. Even though you don't really like some of them. You think some of them are really stupid. Like, Real Housewives and Basketball Wives and The Bachelor and all those kinds of shows. You tell me they're a waste of time. But I can't help it. I like the drama. It can get to be really funny. Plus, I've been watching this show about these, sisters. They call it, 1,000-pound sisters or something. And, well, one of the sisters kind of got her act together and lost weight and is taking care of herself. And don't get me wrong, whatever makes her happy, she can live her life, but I thought she was fine being bigger. But if she felt she was unhealthy at that size, more power to her to get to a size she's comfortable with. But dang, that other sister is huge. Have you seen her? She's over 600 pounds. She can barely get around. She said walking to the mailbox is, arduous. Yeah, I know. As much as you, love, really, really big ladies, I don't think I'd be comfortable being, 600 pounds. I think my current size is perfectly fine. Maybe another 50 pounds or so, if, that so happens, but no more than that. I kind of want to keep my, joints intact and avoid things like diabetes, which I know for heavier set people is a risk factor. My mom's a doctor, as you know, and she's told me she's surprised at my current size now I haven't developed the disease yet. I guess I just got lucky. Yeah. So it's interesting how someone like you would love someone, of my size and shape, despite knowing that it could come with health risks. Anyway, that's getting kind of morbid. So I'm gonna move on to a happier topic. Remember that one night you surprised me with a big feast of food? And you fed me dinner in bed? That was really nice. And you fed me so much food. And when it came to the dessert, you even hand fed it to me. I've never experienced anything like that before. it actually was really intimate. It made me feel special and appreciated, which of course always makes me feel extra grateful for you. Because I guess that's another way of spoiling me. Oh, how's work been? It's been the usual. Doing graphic design remotely because of everything that's happened in the world. And clients can be clients. They tend to get really picky nowadays. They'll tell me what they want. They'll even draft up a little design to kind of give me an example. And then I like make them the graphic to their specifications. And they're like, no, that's not right. Do it over. And they'll tell me that at least 3 to 5 times. And it costs me hours and hours of work. Just drives me crazy. So that's part of why when you're around me and you're cuddling me and, bringing me food and indulging me, it really de-stresses me and takes my mind off of work and the crazy clients. Yeah. I suppose that's fair. I know you have a rough at work too. I'm sorry for that. I do wish I could help. But I know your hands are kind of tied there, so. But things are going to get better now that you got a raise, right? Yeah, the promotion should be really good for you. I'm glad that your leadership recognized your talents. I've always told you that were better than the position you were in, that, you have the potential to do better things, even just at that company. Yes. Yes, of course. Aw. Oh, sweetie. You know I'll believe in you no matter what. And I have faith once you take on your new responsibilities that things are going to go really well and you're not going to fail or anything. That people are going to really respect you. And you'll take excellent care of your team. That's for sure. Because you're a very sweet, caring person who, wouldn't leave a person behind. And that's just one of the many, many things I love about you. Because I love you for more reasons than the fact that you're into my body and indulge my appetite. You've always been such a good listener and a really good provider and support system. I've never really had that before in my life. I had a few friends growing up, but we drifted apart. And then I'd make new friends. But it turns out all the jokes, they weren't laughing with me, they were laughing at me. I was the butt of their jokes because of my size. Because I wasn't huge as a kid, but back then, chubby kids, weren't the norm like they are now. So I stuck out like a sore thumb. And some of the other kids took issue with that. And they'd pick on me. But that's all in the past. Except I do sometimes have nightmares about high school. When people were really, really mean to me. Because I'm so short, and even though I technically wasn't huge, how I carried my weight, and I still looked big. And guys would oink at me in the hallway, and go, here, piggy, 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 and things like that. And guys would ask me out as a joke or prank, and one even, asked me on a full-on date, promising he would get with me, only for me to show up at the coffee shop and wait an hour, and he completely stood me up. And then, back at school, he was laughing at his friends about what a gullible fool I am. So it really is nice to have all of that just behind me. And I know your life growing up wasn't so great either. You mentioned you were kind of a loner and sometimes bullied. Yeah. Maybe that's another reason we hit it off so well. We've both been, kind of ostracized by the greater society. You for your special interest and personality. Not that your personality is bad. I personally really, really enjoy it, but I can see how it can be off-putting for the regular people. So, I guess that's part of why we just clicked. Perhaps we were always meant to be. Like soulmates. Remember our wedding day? Or before our wedding day? You weren't there for that, of course, but when I went with my bridesmaids to try on wedding gowns. Golly, that store was kind of mean. I think on purpose, they kept bringing me dresses that was like 1 or 2 sizes too small. So I couldn't button or zip them up all the way. And they felt like they would just shred right off me if I wore them too long. And I could tell some of the clerks were chuckling, behind the dressing room. But there was one nice lady who brought out some nice dresses from their, plus size line. And I was able to find, the perfect dress for our lovely occasion. And it really was the perfect dress. It made me feel like a Disney princess. And definitely Disney princess, not Ursula the Sea Witch. Not that there's anything wrong with Ursula. I enjoy the sass and whatnot and the campness, but when you're getting married, you don't really want to be a big old octopus lady inspired by a drag queen. But I also remember our vows and how incredibly sweet yours were, and that you made no mentioning of my body, which is very smart on your part. Because I think some of our family was suspicious that you were only with me because you had a weird kink, which is actually part of it, but that's not something our families need to focus on. Speaking of families, do you want to go have dinner at my parents sometime soon? It's been a while since we've seen them. Yeah, they're not too great at feeding me because they personally think I need to lose weight. They're kind of fat-phobic. Even though my mom's a bit of a hypocrite. Growing up, she used to be really, really big. I think she was at least 250 pounds. But then she, got on this super strict diet program. Lost almost 100 pounds. And now she thinks she can dictate, my body. Even though I'm obviously perfectly happy with it. But still, they're my parents, and I love them, and I know they mean well. And of course they adore you. They think you're a good influence on me. If only they knew that you indulge me in all my naughty habits. You really are the perfect partner for me. I don't know what I'd do without you. Anyway, oh, look at the time. It's after 1 in the morning, and I know you've got work, and I've got to do some work tomorrow too, plus chores. So we better get an early morning and get some proper shut-eye right now. What do you say? Plus, I'm already feeling kind of sleepy. How about you cuddle up to my chest and tummy and we can fall asleep in each other's arms? How's that sound? And there you go. All nice and cuddled up. Oh, I love this so much. Alright, my darling. Have a pleasant night and sleep well with amazing dreams. And I'll see you in the morning. I love you. Forever and ever and ever and ever.
No more messy countertops. No more slimy stovetops. The Easy Cracker separates any size egg from its shell in one simple motion, so you can crack them neatly right in the pan. No fuss, no mess. Uh-oh, crunchy eggshells ruin those muffins. With the Easy Cracker, the shell is always left behind, so you never have to worry about dropped shells.
Thank you so much for watching and listening. This piece was brought to you by my patrons on Patreon and other kind viewers and listeners just like you.